You are listening to 1252 Sports Entertainment. Parental discretion may be advised.
Woo! It's about that time. FatMike Chicago Sports. Yeah. Finally here. Shot City Sports is right here. Updates on news, get it here. No rumors, cause we keep it real. FatMike. Sit back, relax, sugar beer one of them nights.
Hey, this is Carmen DeFalco from ESPN Chicago, and you're listening to the FatMike Sports Show.
Hey, this is Dave Richard from CBS Sports, and you're listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hi, this is Jesse Rogers from the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey everyone, I'm Scott Merkin, the longtime White Sox beat writer for MLB.com and proud graduate of the University of Michigan. You're listening to me on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
This is Chuck Arfine, and you are listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. It's the best.
Hey, what's up? This is Greg Braggs Jr. from Braggs in the Stands, and you're listening to my guys on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. Boom!
Hey everyone, Fred Hubner from ESPN 1000. Great to be on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. I'm Dan Zaborski, senior writer for Fangraphs, and you're listening to FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
I'm JJ Stankovitz from NBCSportsChicago.com and the Undercenter podcast, and you are listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey Sparkle, you know what I listen to? It's the FatMike Chicago Sports Show with my guy, Fat Mike. Did you listen anywhere else? No jock. Listen to Fat Mike. He's the best.
And here we are. Welcome back, everybody. This is the FatMike Chicago Sports Show here on 1252 Sports Entertainment. I am one of two hosts. My name is FatMike Chicago. If you can't tell by that little blue bubble down, I think it's like right here, somewhere right there. Yeah, there's that little blue bubble. But with that, we have our guy here, my guy. I love this guy. He's my counterpart. He's my co-host. He is the man, my guy, Angelo Ace Camacho. Angelo, welcome, buddy. Welcome back, man.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Baseball started again today.
Baseball is starting, man. Pitchers
right.
and catchers reported, bro.
That's right.
Can you believe this?
I'm
Pitchers
excited.
and catchers are here. I
Yep.
mean, nothing fills it better than the beginning opening segments of the show theme song, man. Finally here.
Yep,
Shy
right.
City Sports is right here. And we are here, man. We're talking baseball tonight. We got a big show for you guys tonight. We got Jesse Rogers, Chicago Cubs insider, ESPN guy, joining the show here in about a half an hour or so. A little less than that, about 25 minutes he'll be on with us talking Cubs, answering your Cubs questions, answering your White Sox questions. And not only that, we got the hottest game going around right now, man. QB54. It's a hot tailgating game. We have their owner, Mike Silva, coming on with us from QB54, talking about why his game is better than Bags. And I'm excited about this, man. It's going to be cool. Yeah. I know this game kicks ass. I've played this game a few times. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited to bring him on with us, too. But Angelo, man, it's Chicago, man. A lot of sports news here the last couple of days with the Cubs, with the Sox. We talked a little bit last week with Scott Merkin and with Kyle Malzahn. Scott Merkin of MLB.com, writer for the Chicago White Sox. And then Kyle Malzahn at Cubs_live, the creator of that. We were talking baseball all week last week, and some news dropped after our interviews with those guys, man. We had some big stuff happen here.
Yep.
I mean, look, Jake Arrieta's back for the Cubs.
That's right. Jake the Snake. He's back, baby.
What? Can you believe that, man? Come on. That's crazy. I can't believe he's back. They're kind of reliving that old school 2016 go, but hey, that's awesome.
Except Kyle Schwarber's gone and
Schwarber's
Albert
gone.
Almora's gone. So
we'll figure it out, man.
Like Kyle said last week, man, I'm a little nervous. I hope it's not a train wreck with him because he's held to such a high regard by Cubs fans with everything he did in 15 and 16. And it'd be a shame for him to come here and just tarnish that. I don't know if he could tarnish it. He did win us a World Series. But we hold him on this pedestal with some of the greatest performers to pitch for the Cubs, especially during the World Series run.
Right, of course, man. Like, listen, Jake Arrieta, what he did here in 2015 and 2016 was some of the best pitching performances I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, he was just absolutely locked down in that span of that year and a half. The guy had, what, 2 no-hitters?
Yeah.
2 no-hitters, and was just absolutely filthy all of 2015. He was one, if not the main reason that the Cubs made it to the playoffs that year. Like, the stellar pitching performances each and every time that guy was out. And then it picked back up in 2016 too, where he was just absolutely lights out. So I mean, it could be.
Yeah, in 2015 he was 22-6, and then in 2016 he was 18-8. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. But before we get into everything tonight, guys, I do want to mention 1252 here really quick. I know that you guys have been kind of like a little cult following with us as of lately. And the 1252 brand is growing. And it's growing really, really good. And I love every second of this, Angelo. It's getting to that point where we're getting more followers and people are hitting us up in messages more often and tagging us in posts and all that other good stuff. And listen, man, this is what I've always dreamed about doing with my life. I've always wanted to be a sports guy, sit here and talk sports with you, or not necessarily with you, but like this is what I wanted to do with my life. You know what I mean? Not saying that you're taking me down a notch or anything like that. That sounded bad the way I said it. But this is what I've wanted to do my entire life, man, was sit here and talk sports. And I'm happy that you're with me. Angelo, you're a big part of the 1252. But not only that, Angelo, like we said a few weeks ago, we brought on our guy named Vince Mucci, who's going to be having his own show on the 1252 Network, talking Chicago sports. And you guys can follow him at what is it, Vince underscore 1250 or
Turtle underscore
1252. And we got our hype guy here, man. This guy has been absolutely unbelievable. Alan Bratcher. You can find him at Alan underscore Bratcher on Twitter. Follow him on Facebook Live, Bears Fan with a Brain. That's his group there. So I mean, listen, I'm loving adding all these people to this team, man. We're growing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. It's exciting. It seems like, you bring on a couple fresh faces, fresh ideas, the juices get flowing. We have a really good relationship with these guys, communicating. So it's working really well right now.
And not only that, but I love arguing. And that's one thing that these guys bring. I can sit there. If I think their take sucks, I'll be like, you guys are fucking ridiculous. Get out of here.
Yep.
But no, it's real good, man. I'm really happy to bring these guys going, and I'm having a lot of fun with these guys. It's going to be a good time. And as we're growing, you guys just help us keep on growing, keep on sharing, keep on listening, keep on retweeting. Now we're going to have more hot takes coming out of the 1252 brand and stuff like that. Now that we actually have a hype guy doing all the stuff that Angelo, yourself, and I can't necessarily get to.
Yeah,
but he can. But all right, so welcome, guys. Welcome, Alan Bratcher. Make sure you guys welcome Vince Mucci. You can find him on Facebook and like I said, on Twitter at Turtle underscore 1252. But welcome, guys. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun show, man. I always love talking Cubs baseball. We'll talk a little White Sox too, but
we're going to bring up
you
some
and me.
White
There's no hiding it. We're both Cubs fans. We've talked about it openly.
Right.
Diehard Cubs fans. I got my World Series Cubs hat on. You got your Cubs beanie on. So we're all ready for.
It feels like it's 40 degrees in my house. I think I'm getting sick.
Yeah, Jesse Rogers picked the perfect time to go to Arizona, huh?
Yeah, no shit, right? And like I said, guys, we have him coming on, like I said, at 7:30. Happy to bring him on. It's going to be a great talk with him, great baseball talk with him. I'm really excited to have him on as well. We're going to talk White Sox. We're going to talk Cubs with him, mostly Cubs, but we'll get in your White Sox questions. So we'll get it going. The
Hawks won another one.
Hawks are winning really good, man.
They're playing well.
That team looks good, man. Well, I mean, it's Detroit. Detroit's not the greatest team.
That's true. But like we talked last week, you got all these young guys that are playing better than anybody expected them to play, which is huge, right? Especially because going into this season, everybody thought this was just going to be a train wreck of a year. And it's been nice to be able to watch hockey and it be competitive. Unlike last year where it was kind of like, they made the playoffs, but it wasn't really – once they made the playoffs, they made zero noise.
Right.
So.
Hey, listen, the Hawks are playing good puck right now. You know what I mean? As long as they're playing good puck and playing solid defense, this team's going to be a good team. All right, they gotta stick on this path where they're playing good defense, because once that dives down, you see they get 5 goals scored against them, and it's not fun watching them. Yep. But they're playing good puck, but the Bulls keep on winning too. Yep. Bulls are playing good, so like right now, Chicago's looking pretty good with these surprising young talented teams here, with the Bulls and the Blackhawks, and now we got baseball kicking back off, and it should be a lot of fun. So, Angelo, let me ask you really quick. Let's start getting. I mean, let's stop all the gratuitous. All right, let's actually start diving into the show here. Like we said earlier, Jake Arrieta's back.
Yep.
How do you feel about this, man?
I think it's weird that they moved on from Lester, but decided to bring Arrieta back. Not that, I don't like that Arrieta's back. I just think Lester deserved to run it back one more time. Everybody kind of knew this next season was going to be, his last season, and he would have filled the same role that Arrieta's going to fill, right? He'll be your 4 or 5 starter and just burn up some innings when you need him to burn up some innings. I think you've seen Arrieta kind of on the decline since 2018. It'll be interesting to see. Like you said earlier, I'm not really blown away by the rotation for the Cubs. They don't have anybody that's just going to like strike you out. Hendricks,
I don't think he has the gas anymore. I mean,
definitely not.
I don't think he's throwing smoke no more like he was here in 2015, 2016. Right. But I think he does bring a confidence to the table where he can be a leader to the team. That's one thing, especially, you got Kyle Hendricks. Yeah, he's outrightedly your number 1 going into the season. Jake Arrieta doesn't have the stuff to be a number 1 anymore. He's probably going to be a back end of the rotation type of guy, and we'll ask Jesse about that tonight too.
Yeah,
but I mean, the thing that bothers me, Angelo, is that we let John Lester go, who's been a Cub fan favorite since we got this.
Yep.
Since we signed the guy to a deal, you let him walk when he even was like, "Hey, I want to be a Cub. I want to retire a Cub," and then you hear, "Oh, we ain't got no money. We don't have no money." And then you go spend the money on Arrieta, and you go spend the money on guys like Jock Peterson.
Yep.
And guys like Pedro Strop, Brandon Workman today, which is a guy that I was levying for over the last 3 years for the Cubs to pry him out of Boston, because I like what he does out of the bullpen.
Right.
But I mean, this is the type of shit that I'm talking about. You sit there, you cry poor, but then you go sign these guys for an upwards of, I mean, I don't know, somebody do the research on it. What is it, $18 million so far they've spent, and they've been crying poor?
Yep.
$18 million could have landed you another big name starting pitcher for the front end of this rotation.
Yep.
So I mean, that's one thing that bothers me, and I'm excited to bring, like I said, I'm excited to bring Jesse on here and see what's going on, because I don't understand the Lester move. As I'm saying this, a thing pops up here. Our guy Tarbill, I don't understand the Lester move. It's so frustrating. Yeah, man, it is frustrating, especially because he's been a Cub fan favorite.
Right.
And he hasn't been terrible. It's not like he's going out there and getting shellacked every start. It's not like he's going out there and saucing a 14 ERA. I mean, still going out there and being competitive.
Right. I mean, he struggled last year. But towards the end of the season, he kind of figured it out. It was a weird year for everybody, man. I know a lot of people were like, oh, why would they sign Jock Peterson? Like, I understand that move because your offense has kind of been stagnant for a long time. Move on from somebody, bring somebody fresh in. Maybe it sparks a little bit. I'm really interested to talk with Jesse about the potential moves that the Cubs can make in regards to like trading some of these bigger name guys like Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, Wilson Contreras, Rizzo. I don't think they'd move on from Rizzo. I think they're hoping that he will retire a Cub. But those other 3 guys, man, I think if we're being realistic, personally, I don't see Chris Bryant being here at the end of the year. I think they move on from him at the trade deadline if they can.
There's just been so much talk around it. It's kind of hard not to believe that that's the case, even though there's a report out there today saying, listen, we're not in talks for Chris. We're not in talks for Chris Bryant. Like, well, then why the hell is all this shit swirling around then? You know what I mean? Like, obviously something's going on where there's talk about it, where you know, it's not just, you know, shitheads like you and I are like, they're trading Chris Bryant. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's actual reports out there. It's not just Chicago meatheads saying this stuff. There's actual reports out there out of New York, out of NY. I forget where I reported it the other day. I retweeted it. The talks were getting hot again between the Mets and Bryant, and Mets and Cubs for Bryant. NYS, New York sports or something. Well, you know, fuck New York as it is. But anyways,
I know you don't like New York.
Nope. Should be a battlefield. The entire place should just be nothing but Mad Maxed.
I mean, Jed came out and said that those reports were just rumors. But, you know, in today's sports, it seems like everybody says that. And then the next thing you know, you go on Twitter and boom, the trade is done. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, you told us it wasn't. And then it was. This whole offseason's kind of been sketchy for the Cubs, if you ask me. A lot of, you know, quiet talk. You know, the crying poor thing, I don't understand that. You put yourself as an organization in such a bad spot. It's hard to feel sorry for ownership, right? Because people are like, well, there's no fans in the stands, but that's not our fault. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's their fault for not budgeting better. You start the marquee network, and now you have a team that, I mean, is it really worthy of having its own network at this moment?
Doesn't seem like it.
Right, exactly. So,
especially because they're not winning.
Right, and that's what I mean.
They squeaked into the playoffs last year, but they're not winning.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like we're dealing with the like we brought up, like I brought up last week with Kyle, when I envisioned this team when they got Theo Epstein and John Lester and they made those moves to bolster the pitching rotation, and then they go out and grab Jason Hayward. And this, like I said, I expected this team to be the evil empire of the New York Yankees of the late 90s, early 2000s, and it just didn't shine.
Right.
Then, yeah, if you're winning division after division after division after division and putting the wins on the board, making the playoffs, getting deep into the playoffs, then yeah, a network is possible and feasible for a winning ball club. But where you've been so middle of the pack, middle of the road, can't tell if you're going to win 80 games or win 97 games, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to sell, especially after everything went down with the marquee network with Xfinity and Dish Network and all that. I mean, come on, man. Like, that was a shit show in itself. It was all the way up until opening day last year where Xfinity didn't have a deal for them.
Yep.
It was like, I remember my old man, my old man and my brother, they were pissed. They were like, this is bullshit. We better have the fucking Cubs channel, you know, like, this is crap.
Yep.
Well, what? I mean, I was like, all right, cool, I got it. But then even the marquee network now, dude, it's a joke. Last night I was like, okay, maybe they have like a top 10 Cubs moments or something on. Maybe they have something like that on. Dude, it was fucking replayed tennis from 1999.
What?
Yeah.
See, I don't get the marquee network up here. I wish I did, but
why am I watching a Wimbledon from 1999? Right. What the hell is
this? I don't know, man.
Made no sense to me.
It seems like it was like 5 years too late. Like, if they would have started it 5 years ago, their own network,
when they were on the rise. But you can't start a network either when you have what the hell was that guy's name playing first base? Joe Mather, third baseman, first. You can't start a network with Joe Mather as your first
right.
Third
But what I'm saying is, like, people were starting their own networks 3-4 years ago. You know what? Their own streaming situations. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody has their own streaming service, and the Cubs are just now getting in on that.
Too.
That's that's right. And the Cubs right now are just getting in on it. It just seems like they were behind, and you know, they should have thought about this a little sooner, in my opinion, before the team was where it's at right now. I'd be interested to ask Jesse which turnaround he thinks is tougher, when Theo got here or right now with Jed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Theo, I think, had the weight of the curse, in quotes. I put that, whereas Jed just has to worry about payroll that's not there. You know, so it'll be
obviously there's some payroll there because he's signing guys,
right? Now, where they found that money, I don't know.
I mean, I just wish I could find $16 million in my sock drawer one morning. That'd be great.
Just stumble over it on your way.
Sign Jake Arrieta to a, hey, be my buddy for a year. Let's go drinking for a year. Let's have fun.
I mean, that would be pretty wild just to be able to go partying with Jake Arrieta for a year.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens here, man. Like I said, I got a lot of questions for Jesse. Like, we're going to be talking White Sox Cubs here. But, I mean, it's just, I don't get it, man. Like, I really, I'm a Cub fan at heart. And watching this White Sox team do what they do, finding the money to go out and get guys like, I mean, listen, they're not the greatest guys. Adam Eaton's not a world beater by any stretch. All right, but they have the money, and they're spending, Lance Lynn and, Liam Hendricks. Those are big gets. And then they bring back Rodon and Lopez too. Just be like, all right, if you guys can fill in a role.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like they're spending money, which is nice. They're spending money, and it's the Cubs are just in that stagnant pool again where it's like, oh no.
Well, I mean, and it's not just the White Sox though. Like teams like the Padres spent money this offseason.
Dude, the Dodgers spent a ton of money.
The Dodgers, they must have just a printing press underneath the stadium because I don't know where they find all this money.
Dodger dog money.
Yeah, man.
It's from all the hot dogs. It's like a $14 hot dog.
Well, then I mean, yeah, you buy two of those, you pay for their outfield.
Right. You personally paid a year contract for Mookie Betts.
But that's what I mean, though. Like Mookie Betts was last year. This year they got Trevor Bauer. Like this team just hasn't missed a beat. They're bringing guys up every year. There's a new face that's hitting that has a beautiful swing and jacking home runs. And then you're looking at the Cubs, and it's I'm jealous of the White Sox fans right now because their team has blue sky and rainbows coming up, and the Cubs are black clouds and tornado, hurricane winds. And
so right now, as it sits, while we're waiting here for Jesse to come on with us here in a minute, right now as it sits, the Pacoda projections stated the Cubs were going to finish second in the division. That's all obviously been redone since the signing of Nolan Arenado to the Cardinals, the trade for Nolan Arenado to the Cardinals.
Who was finishing in first?
Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
Cardinals are finishing in first with the Cubs. I want to say the Brewers in second and the Cubs in third. But they still have the Cubs at about 83 wins. And the Sox were the same way. The Sox were projected for less wins than the Cubs, right?
Yep.
Where do you see it ending out at the end of the year? They're playing 162 this year. Angelo, in your opinion, where do you see the Cubs ending out in the division? Let's start there.
I don't think they'll be better than the Cardinals. I think that Arenado signing or trade was perfect for that team. I don't think the Brewers are going to be better than the Cubs. They're just the Brewers. They always seem to struggle. I could see them finishing second place, maybe making, a little bit of excitement going into the playoffs. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll be in that hunt for the playoffs towards the end of the season. I think like 80, 82 wins is a fair, fair spot for them.
All right. What about the White Sox?
Much over that. The White Sox, I don't know how they have the Cubs with a better record when Cleveland got rid of Francisco Lindor. So they got worse. I think the White Sox are going to win that division.
Isn't Clevenger gone too? Didn't Clevenger get shopped?
I'm pretty sure he did. I don't see how they had them where they had them. I think the White Sox are going to win that division easily.
I don't know. The Twins are still a tough team.
They are, but the bats on the White Sox are just they're good, man. They're a fun team to watch.
Right. So we'll leave it for you guys to think over and mull over really quick. But really quick, I'd like to play a quick little ad from our guy, John Durin, over at the Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group. Guys, just stay tuned. And after this ad, Jesse Rogers will be coming on with us here very, very shortly. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
All right, and we're back. We are back, ready to rock and roll here. So I'm excited to have this going. And that's our guy John Darren over at the Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group, who just had he didn't have a baby today, but his wife had a baby. So congratulations are ensued for those guys as well. Congratulations, guys, welcoming a brand new baby girl to the family. Congratulations. That's cool. That's cool. Kids are cool.
As a parent, having a kid is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
A lot of long nights.
Kids are
beginning.
okay.
A lot of long nights in the beginning, crying, diapers. Yeah.
Right.
I've had worse jobs.
I like it. I'm at that age where I still like having too much fun.
I mean, with COVID, there really is.
I'm 33 next month. I still like having way too much fun.
You're 33. I'm 30. Like, I look like I'm 12.
Yeah, you look like a baby. But no, like, seriously, like, I don't know about the whole kid situation, man. I think we're just going to get another dog. I got 3 of them already. You might as well. You know what I mean? And I don't have to wipe their ass. Very rare occasion do I have to wipe a dog's ass.
That's true.
Very rare occasion.
It's
like if she eats a plate of spaghetti or something and she just has a noodle hanging out of her.
Gross.
You know, that's when I got to wipe. But other than that, I'm good.
Man. So back to while we're waiting for Jesse to come on.
He'll be on here in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. I broached the idea of, well, with you earlier in the show about possible trades. Who do you think the top 3 guys would be that the Cubs could move, you know?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Rizzo goes anywhere. Contreras has been hot on the back burners in the offseason here. They were saying they had offers for him and were entertaining offers for him. Bryant, obviously. And then, I mean,
it's been kind of quiet around Baez, right? Like, you haven't heard too much of.
I mean, if it was me, that guy's he's a big fan favorite right now. There's no, at least I've never heard of any entertaining of the fact of trying to shop him.
Right.
It's always been Bryant.
Everything I've read, it's always been that they would like to get a deal done with Javi. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it makes sense. He's flashy. The fans love him. I do kind of think the fans turned on Chris Bryant a little bit.
I don't know why.
Well, I mean, lack of production does that.
The guy still has 20 homers a year, man.
I get it. But when you come into the league and do what he did, you know, rookie of the year, MVP, go to the playoffs that many times, and then the last 2 years have been pretty nasty.
Right. Yeah, it's been pretty rough. But I don't think he's been the same player, though, since he's gotten hit in the head.
Oh, definitely not.
You know, I mean, that's another reason. Sure. That's the only thing I want to ask Jesse tonight. I know that the last time we had him on here, I forgot to ask him that. And I want to ask him, be like, hey, is there something to that? Obviously there is. It's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball coming at your fucking dome. Of course there's something to it.
Right.
You know, I think that's as hard as a rock getting thrown at your head. Right. You know, with a thin piece of plastic between you and your skull and your brain. You know what I mean? Yep. You know, and it's coming at you at 95 miles an hour and it decks you in the head. It sure doesn't feel too pleasant, you know?
No, definitely not. I mean, I've never been in that scenario where somebody pitching that fast has hit me in the head.
Right.
I have been hit with pitches in the head when I used to play, but not that fast.
This explains a lot.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
This explains a lot. And we're gonna ask Jesse about that right now because he's joining us right now. Right. Our guy, Jesse Rogers from ESPN, Cubs Insider. The guy's the man. Jesse, welcome again, my friend. This is different now, man. I get to see you. How about this? I actually get to see you now instead of just here and talking to you. How's it going?
Nice to see you guys. Going well. Getting ready for spring training. What's happening?
Are you down there in Arizona right now?
No, not yet. I'll be going. I'm actually going to Florida this weekend first, and then hopefully Arizona next month. Things are a little bit up in the air, as you guys might imagine, but I've got to get to Florida first.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, man. I know that you're staying busy with everything, hunting down with pitchers and catchers reporting. I really do appreciate you hopping on with us once again. Thank you again for that. We were just talking about Chris Bryant here a little bit. I know that's been the hot commodity over the offseason. What's going on with Chris Bryant? Is he getting traded? Is he not getting traded? Is he going to be a deadline guy? Is he not going to be a deadline guy? In your opinion, what's going on with Chris Bryant? Is this something that the Cubs are going to entertain at the All-Star break? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think so. I thought he would have been traded a year ago, December, so I'm probably not the right guy to ask. Obviously, it hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out to sign him to a long-term deal, and it hasn't worked out to move him yet. But the clock is ticking. It's got to happen by July 31st. There's no way they're going to take him through the whole season and let him walk for nothing unless this team is about to win a championship. So the clock is definitely ticking, and I would expect it to happen in July. But again, I expected it to happen a while ago. So I guess all bets are off. Could he sign a long-term deal and stay? I mean, anything's possible in baseball. I just don't think that's the likely scenario. Nothing to this point has indicated that he's staying. So you wouldn't want to let him to walk for nothing. So I would assume July. But, like a lot of people, I feel like I'm in the dark because I thought it was going to happen already.
With all those talks around Chris Bryant, there's also been talks around, obviously, Wilson Contreras. There's been talks around, obviously, there was the Schwarber stuff, whether they were going to sign him or not. Who, in your mind, who are some of the other names on this current roster with the Cubs that could possibly be targets for other teams at the deadline?
Well, if you have a minute, let's see. Craig Kimbrell, if he performs. We mentioned Bryant. I don't think they're trading Baez, but I guess if Rizzo says I'm leaving at the end of the year, he could be a candidate. Zach Davies is on a one-year deal. Jake Arrieta's on a one-year deal. Trevor Williams. Are you getting the theme here? Right. Anybody that is going to be a free agent, eligible to be flipped. And they have right now 14 guys that could be free agents at the end of this year. It's possible they have half the roster when they go to, when they come north. That could be free agents at the end of the year. And that means unless they're in first place, they could be traded in July.
Well, speaking of placement in the division, the PECOTA projections came out last week, and they had them. I think they had these things done before the Arenado trade was actually official and done and over with. But looking at the standings, the Cubs, I think they had them in third place, second place, or whatever it is, winning more games than the White Sox. Obviously, this Cardinals team is going to be the team to beat in this division, Jesse. Is that a fair assumption to say? Yes, they're certainly the favorites. You subtract Darvish, you add Arenado, that kind of changed the balance of power. They always can pitch in St. Louis. I don't love their outfield, but no team in the Central is perfect. They have Goldschmidt and Arenado, so if you have a little bit of a weaker outfield, you can deal with it. I love Tommy Edman. Yeah, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. And with Cincinnati and the Cubs sort of taking a step back, they're the favorites. But I don't think they're, 100% better than these other teams. They're better. They're better on paper. Still have to go out and prove it. I don't think they can just roll out of bed and win the division. But with the July situation looming with some other clubs like the Cubs, if the Cardinals are in first in July, I think they're going to win the division. That's kind of the way I'm thinking of it. Otherwise, the other teams, if they're in first, the other teams are going to start selling.
So, Jesse, all the talk about these trades, let's say those trades go through. Bryant gets moved. If Rizzo decides he wants to get moved, this team's going to look a lot different going forward. Who are some of the younger guys that the Cubs can kind of lean on to be that next wave of talent going forward?
Well, there's no doubt Nico Horner is the type of player they want. A guy that has a little bit of different hit tool commodity than the guys they've had. A little less strikeout, the ability to go to all fields. Now, you can't have 9 Nico Horners because he doesn't have necessarily the power, But that's kind of the way they want to turn this thing over. That's a guy that could be a leader on this team, wants to learn, good teammate at a young age. So someone like that should lead them along with the Baezes of the world, maybe even Rizzo if he does stay, to the next sort of group. Now, pitching, though, is the key here. Look, they've got to find a young staff to grow with. You've heard of Braylon Marquez, Adbert Azalea, it's his turn. There's a few other guys, that need to pop soon. And there's a few position players as well. But, until I see them at Wrigley, I'm not one of these guys that falls in love with everybody at AA, because I've talked to enough executives that tell me how much they love their guys at single and AA, and then you never hear from them again. So until they're proving it, unless they're a can't miss, there's always the can't miss. Chris Bryant was a can't miss. But, Chris Bryant won College Player of the Year and then Minor League Player of the Year. That got my attention in back-to-back seasons. So, I need to see it, and their farm system isn't ranked that high, although I do think there are some major league players, obviously there. But I think of Nico Horner as the leader of this next contending phase. I say that along with a guy like Baez that might stick around as well.
The next regime, right? Go ahead. Really quick, Angelo. Yeah, really quick. I want to cut you off really quick, Angelo. You brought it up, Jesse, really quick about this pitching staff. The Cubs have no gassers on this current pitching staff. I mean, Jake Arrieta has lost velocity on his fastball. He's been injured the last couple of seasons. The Cubs in this rotation have no gassers. Can they win with this current rotation of guys that throw 93 miles an hour?
Yeah, they can. I mean, Kyle Hendricks has already proven it. Alec Mills threw no-hitter. Zach Davies had a nice ERA last year. That doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't. It does put a little more emphasis on your defense. If you're going to put the ball in play and not strike out, you have to have defenders. But if it's weak contact, which is what Hendricks and Davies do, then you should be good. So as outs are outs. I don't think it's a big deal. I think there are moments, coming out of the bullpen in the 8th inning, you need a guy that can strike someone out, right? Guys on base, even for a starter, you need a strikeout. Okay, there will be moments where you could use a strikeout, you may not get it, but there are going to be other moments where you need weak contact, and not always does the flamethrower get it. So, look, outs are outs. Hendricks has proven you can do it. You do have maybe a little less margin for error when you don't throw as hard. But if you're a soft tosser and you've made it in the majors and stayed in the majors, there's a reason for it. So I don't think that's a big deal. Okay. Now, there's other issues. They're not that deep in certain areas, but in terms of just the fact that they don't throw hard, it's not a big deal to me in the starting staff. You need a couple guys in the bullpen to throw hard because a strikeout is more necessary in moments late in the game. That's kind of the way I see it.
Jesse, Mike and I were talking before you came on, and I brought up the question, who had the tougher turnaround, Theo or Jed?
Oh, I mean, it's got to be Theo. I've been asked this question a few times. I think Jed's task coming up in July or over the next 12 months might be just as big a task, but in a sort of different way. I mean, when you have the 108-year monkey on your back, I think that, and you're sort of starting from scratch is a different story. I mean, if Jed makes trades, he still has, Bryant to trade, Baez to trade. I mean, it's like what Rick Hahn did with the White Sox, trading Chris Sale and Todd Frazier and these other guys. So, Theo's task was bigger. But I get in the moment come July when he has to reel off 4 or 5 trades, that'll be a big task for Jed as well. So kind of equal, big moments for these guys, but the bigger one was certainly Theo.
With the Cubs have made some moves here, and we do want to. If you have the time, Jesse, I'd love to talk to you about a little bit about the White Sox too, because you're involved on so much Chicago baseball here. I'd love to have your insight on those guys too. The Cubs made some moves as of recently as well. When they said that they have no money, where did they find this money? First off, where was this money found?
Yeah, it's a good question.
When they were crying poor.
Yeah, on the surface, it's not that crazy to think that, okay, as the offseason went along and they started to figure out vaccines and fans in the stands and sponsorship, I assume they got some sponsors that maybe they didn't know if they were going to sign up, maybe some more advertising on the marquee network. I mean, think about it. There was so much uncertainty, right? If they didn't spend because revenues weren't coming in, we wouldn't be surprised. And now that they're spending, maybe we shouldn't be that surprised that they found some money because times are changing a little bit in a good way. There should be some fans in the stands. So I think that's it. I think all teams kind of waited as long as they could. You saw so many moves in January and February. And I think that's the answer, that they did some calculations and, said we could spend a few more dollars than we thought. That's probably why Lester's not here, because at that time they didn't have the money to spend, although there's probably more to that story that's being told. And now they found some bucks for Peterson and Jake Arrieta. So, I mean, in some ways it makes sense because, there's a season of uncertainty to be had, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It could be good in terms of revenues, and maybe they found a few ways to find to earn some more money.
Speaking of the Jock Peterson signing, how do you feel about that signing? I mean, you're up and close personal with these guys. Is it just a replacement for Kyle Schwarber, or could it be something better than that?
I think he has different strengths than Schwarber, and those strengths might be needed on this team in particular. So that's looking at it in a sort of glass being half full way. Now, his overall numbers are almost exactly like Schwarber. So some people might say, if it doesn't matter how you get to those numbers, if the numbers are the same, the production's going to be same. But I mean, I'm all for mixing it up. They needed to mix it up. He makes a little bit more contact. He hits the high pitch better, as Jed Hoyer mentioned the other day. It's not a considerable change, but it's a change. And maybe one change leads to a couple others. So I don't disagree on paper. It looks like a similar offense. But as Jed Hoyer said, he's kind of banking on 4 or 5 hitters, being in their walk years, really producing. And if they produce, hopefully they're not selfish hitters, but numbers are numbers. If you produce, you're going to help your team. Peterson's in that group with Rizzo, Baez, and these other guys, playing for a contract. So I'm okay with it. Look, the moment you give up left-handed power is the moment you need to start finding it again. So I'm glad they got some power back, but I'm not sure it changes the offense that much.
That's one thing the NL Central's needed for the last 10 years is a big lefty power bat, and they're still looking for it, the entire NL Central. I got one other thing Cubs related for you. The Cubs went out today and they grabbed Pedro Strop to a minor league contract, as you reported. And they also are in the mix for working out a deal for Brandon Workman. I don't know if that's done or not. Brett, what are we getting with these guys? Obviously, Pedro Strop is not 2016 Pedro Strop, and Brandon Workman is not 2016 Red Sox Brandon Workman. What can we rely on these guys for this upcoming year? Does
Jake Arrieta is not 2016 right, exactly. Jake Arrieta. And this is where it's kind of like taking a roll of the dice. And again, Workman 1-year contract. Maybe you flip him. Maybe he resigns because he finds the fountain of youth. I'm talking about whether it be Jake or Workman. And that's the thing. You're just sort of taking flyers on guys that have a track record, trying to get back to something. I mean, Workman can get the ball on the ground, but I don't think he could find the plate last year if I remember his numbers. So right. These are projects in some ways, and that's why you don't sign project after project after project if you're thinking about the World Series. So that's what it is. And again, if they look good in the first half, they could be flipped for prospects, young enough and vital for the future. I think Jed has got as much flexibility that an executive could possibly have with this roster right now.
Right. Okay. So now let's move to the other side of the town, because I know that's the team that's hot commodity right now, and everybody's looking at this team like they're going to be the next coming of big things here in Chicago. They go out, they sign Liam Hendriks. They go out and grab Lance Lynn. They go out and re-sign Rodon and Lopez. They still got Kopech. They go out and make a big, not a big move, but bring back Adam Eaton. Of these 3 signings, who do you feel has the biggest impact, whether it be Lance Lynn, Liam Hendriks, or Adam Eaton?
Well, I actually think it's Lance Lynn. As much as Hendriks is one of the best in the game, I loved Colomé, and it's not like they had a big hole in the 9th inning. They just basically replaced what they had. But Lance Lynn was the one missing piece to this team, certainly down the stretch, and you even saw it in the playoff series. You could have used him in Game 3 to start, and I just didn't like how after Keuchel and Giolito, they kind of had to go to the rookie Cease and Ronaldo Lopez. I mean, I think Lance Lynn was a perfect pickup, perfect middle of the rotation guy, may even be a little bit better than that. So I love that one. I didn't love the Eaton pickup not because I don't like Adam Eaton. It's because, again, and I've talked about it, left-handed hitting is more important than people think. If you're going to err on the side of having too many good lefties or too many good righties, you want more lefties because there are more right-handed throwers and good right-handed pitchers, and you need that other side of the plate to do damage. I'm not sure that Grandal, Moncada, and Eaton are enough in terms of slug. I'm talking about slugging percentage from the left side. When the Adam Wainwrights of the world and some of these other guys come from the right side, you need and they're going to neutralize. We saw it last year. Look, we saw it. The White Sox were under 500 against righties and undefeated against lefties. I don't think they're going to go undefeated against lefties. And you have to prove to me that they're going to be that much better against righties. And maybe they will be. Eloy should take a step, and some other Luis Robert. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure there's enough from the left side. So I loved Lynn. Didn't love Eaton as much. I would have liked Schwarber or Peterson, to be honest, more on the south side. But that just didn't happen. So we'll see if there's enough offense from the left side. Watch that. That's a storyline to watch.
Okay, I got. It's going to be a kind of a funny one too for you, Jesse. Today, Rick Hahn opened up and said that Eloy is going to be playing. He's going to be starting in the outfield. He will not be doing too much DH duties. Over under really quick before I get to the true question, and I asked this to a former colleague of yours, Fred Hubner, too. Over under, how many nets does Eloy have to struggle to get out of this year? Where would you set the number at?
6.
6? Holy moly. All right, cool.
Because remember, it's a 162-game season.
True.
I mean, he struggled out of what? A couple last year, over 60. So I'm going with 5 or 6. He wants to prove that he can play out there. He's going to be aggressive. All right, maybe that's a little high, but yeah, I think he's going to fight the net as much as the ball. I hope they're working really hard with him in the outfield because, and here's the thing, no young player wants to just become a DH. And he's a star already. Right. It would be disrespectful just to throw him there unless he starts really losing games, That's a different story. Maybe that's a reason they didn't sign a guy like Schwarber. You can't have Schwarber and Eloy on the same team defensively, I guess.
Right.
So anyway, I'm hoping he's better because that's going to be a tough conversation if Tony has to make him a DH eventually.
Speaking of Tony, how do you think that this White Sox team and Tony La Russa are going to mesh?
I think it'll be all right. I think he has shown the right attitude, from his off-the-field problems to being out of the dugout over the course of the last decade. I think he understands that there's scrutiny. He understands, you know what? He's coming in and not acting like the third winningest manager of all time. He's not. He's acting humble. We'll see how that plays out over time. Does he have to, put the hammer down a little bit on players? You never know. It's a young team that won last year, so if they get cocky or something, he may have to. But I think he's got the right attitude. I've heard the right things from him since they hired him. Now that those relationships have to grow. I think the most important thing to know about Tony La Russa is, one, what I just said. He's coming in with the right attitude. But two, he has been around the game for the last 10 years. He has not been on a beach. Can't stress that enough. Just because you didn't see him in a dugout doesn't mean he wasn't around the game. I've talked to so many people with the Angels, Diamondbacks, Red Sox, and they say he was part of a lot of things. So I think all of that is important. So I think it's going to work. I do. Now, will every moment work? Of course not. But I over the long haul, I don't think they're going to lose anything because of Tony La Russa. That's my opinion.
I forget. I don't know who said it. It could have been Giolito. It could have been Rick Hahn. But the quote that's going around that I read, I forget because I've been doing show prep all day. Jesse, is one of them said it's World Series or bust for this team. Is that what's going through? Is that the big word? Is it? Do you feel that it's World Series or bust for the Chicago White Sox team this year?
I'm getting all antsy because I hate that phrase. I really do. I mean, it's a baseball season. Anything can happen. I don't know what that means exactly. Of course, when you ask anybody in uniform, I don't care if you ask the Pittsburgh Pirates, is it your goal to win the World Series? They're going to say yes. Now, they'll say it with different degrees of intensity. But, I mean, if they, I don't know, lose in the ALCS in 7 games but play great, are we going to be ripping them to shreds and kicking everyone out? No. I mean, this is – now, if they do that 5 straight years, yeah, we'll get annoyed. But it's the start of something. They got a taste in a 60-game season. I don't understand this World Series or bust mentality. It's just, you can say that. Everybody says that, but it's about the journey, and it's about the situation you're in. And the situation they're in is not like they're at the end of some run like the Cubs are, and they better win now. So no, it's not World Series or bust. It's get better, go further, see where we land. That's it.
Stuff with Kopech. I heard you talking a little bit earlier this morning on ESPN 1000 with the Cat Man talking about Michael Kopech. Where do you see Kopech falls? Is he going to be a reliever? Is he going to be a starter? Are they going to use him and Crochet as maybe, like those guys that start a game and, 2 innings? What's the deal with Kopech right now going forward?
Yeah, I think they're going to stretch him out to be a starter, but use him maybe in unique ways. It is possible what you just said about the 2-inning thing. One thing Rick Hahn said today, and I think he's makes sense, is they don't want to use up all his innings by July, right? So they want him cooking towards the end of the year, and maybe even have him being a full-time starter in October if he's pitching well. So I think they're going to take it easy. Maybe there's a spot start. Maybe there's, as they start up. But I think as the year goes along, if he's showing the right signs, he'll be a starter. I mean, you can't. I mean, teams have played it careful with pitchers, contending teams like Steven Strasburg, but you can't play it too careful. You're trying to win. So I don't know exactly what the plan is. They haven't sat down with him just yet. I don't like the idea of an opener, but I guess to get his 2 innings in on this particular day, it's possible. It's possible. I don't love it. I think it throws things off a little bit unless you're forced to do it. So I guess the answer is a work in progress, but one thing is they will spread out the innings, spread out the workload, so they have him maybe peaking at his best towards the end of the season.
One thing that's been, I know we're talking White Sox right now, and I know that you don't cover them. I know that you're the Cubs guy. All right.
No, I do both. I'm doing both more. We're good.
With the White Sox here, a name that's been almost not heard of, Jesse, is Nick Madrigal. You keep on hearing about Moncada and this pitching staff and Eloy Jimenez and Robert and all those other guys. Where do you see Nick Madrigal fitting into this? Is he going to be the future leadoff hitter? Do you think we see him up this year? What's the plan with him going forward?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, him and Vaughn, I mean, this is what you do even with contending teams. You give guys a taste. You give them some experience. So, yes, look, you're not going to win with just 26 guys. Right. You never do, especially now, maybe the longer season. You never know the starts and stops with COVID. So, absolutely, these guys are going to get a taste. That's how you keep the thing rolling. And if there's an injury, you don't miss a beat. So, yes, I don't know the exact plan like you just mentioned, but certainly he's going to be part of the mix.
All right, Jesse, I have one more for you, and it's preseason, pre-spring training, all that other good stuff. Who ends up with the better record, Cubs or Sox at the end of the year? Your notions going in. Who do you think? Who do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be the White Sox. It doesn't mean by 5 or 10 games because the Cubs are in a kind of a weaker division, and these things don't always play out the way you think, but because of the July trading period, I think the Cubs roster in August and September is going to look a lot different, and they'd be hard-pressed to be a 500 team in those months, right? So just when the Sox are heating up for the pennant race, the Cubs might be sort of playing out the string a little bit, though teams can be competitive even after July 31st. There's guys trying to make their mark. So, I mean, the obvious answer is the White Sox. They're just deeper. They're deeper. So, but I don't think it has to be by 10 games. I mean, Cubs might win 80, Sox win 88. Cubs might win 83, Sox win 90. So maybe they're within 5, 6, 7 games of each other. But yeah, I think the Sox are going to win more.
All right, man. Well, that's all I got for you. Angelo, you got anything for Jesse?
I just had one more, Jesse. Going through this season, what do you think the biggest question for each team going forward is right now? Like area of concern, I guess.
Yeah, well, for the White Sox, left-handed power. I think they need to slug from the left side, as I said earlier. That is number one on my list for sure. For the Cubs, I mean, if they're trying to win it all, whatever. Look, we have the offensive problems, but maybe Jed's right. Maybe a bunch of guys in their walk years are going to be great. You have to expect last names of Baez, Rizzo, even Peterson. They're going to come up with some numbers. So the real concern would be the starting staff. I mean, you need experience to go out there. It's one thing to do it, for a month. You got to go out for 6 months, every 5 days and perform. And, I just don't know if there's enough there. 3 guys would really have to show a lot, let alone Zach Davies. I'm talking about Arrieta, Trevor Williams, Alec Mills, even Alza. 3 to 4 guys would really have to show it. So frontline starting pitching and depth in starting pitching is the Cubs' concern. There's no doubt. You got rid of Darvish, and you didn't really replace. You got rid of Chatwood. You got rid of a bunch of live arms, and you didn't replace him. Lester even. I mean, you knew what you could get in some of these guys. There's a lot of unknowns on that staff now.
Okay.
Jesse, I appreciate you joining us. Thanks for staying so long with us, talking both teams, my friend. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. How does everybody follow you, Jesse? Where can all our listeners give you a grab at?
Well, of course, ESPN 1000. I'm on, often daily, and then at Jesse Rogers ESPN on Twitter.
Excellent, Jesse. Thank you so much, my friend. I really do appreciate it. We'll be having you back as soon as we possibly can to talk more Cubs and Sox, man. Thanks,
Jesse. Take care, guys.
Take care, brother. All right, guys. Jesse Rogers. I mean, listen, the guy comes on here. He talks both sides of town. He's following both sides of town. I can only imagine what that guy's job is going to be like here in a few weeks. Not even in a few hours. Yeah. Hours. He's going to be going down to Florida, like you said. Then he's heading on out to Arizona to cover both teams. I don't know how the hell he does it, man. That's a lot of work. I think doing a show once a week is tough. This guy's covering 2 baseball squads. I mean, sweet Pete. But he brought up some good points there, man. He's surprised that Bryant wasn't moved by December. And, he would be a guy that could be moved again this year.
Yep.
I mean, it's tough with this team, man. It's tough. I don't know what to make of this Chicago Cubs team right now. I don't think they're going to be that great. Angelo, I think it's going to be a struggle to win 83 games.
Yeah, I agree. I know that Jesse was surprised that Bryant wasn't moved last year. It makes me wonder if the Cubs are better off trying to trade him sooner rather than later, or
Definitely.
later rather than sooner. You know what I mean? Because, if they trade him sooner, then what if he goes to another team and he's hot? You know what I mean? And if they wait, that same outcome could happen, or he could be in such a bad situation that they can't trade him for anything.
Listen, the way I look at Chris Bryant, man, everybody wants Chris Bryant to be this superstar, like Freddie Freeman, like Mookie Betts, like Nolan Arenado, like Alex Bregman. They want him. Everybody wants him to be that guy. Francisco Lindor, Christian Yelich, that type of player. Mike Trout, Machado. He's not that guy. All right. The more and more I watch this guy, he's not that guy. Okay, plain and simple. He's just not that guy. What I think he is, I think you can smash Chris Bryant right in the middle of that Mets lineup with Francisco Lindor and Peter Alonso and a couple other big bats around him. And holy shit, look what you got here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or you can take him. Can you imagine him on the Yankees? Good God. Good God, with Aaron Judge and who's the heavy hitting second baseman that we gave him? Gleyber Torres.
Yep.
And then Gary Sanchez. It's like, holy shit.
That team has
well, then
power,
his 270, then his 270 and 30 homers and 90 RBIs is a lot more appealing than it is on a team that we have here in Chicago here, where he's struggling where everybody's like, why aren't you doing what you're doing? Like, why aren't you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Well, because the team around you kind of sucks, bud. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think they've all kind of let each other down. The name, like Jesse said, the names: Baez, Rizzo, Bryant, Contreras. They always seem to kind of go missing in the worst moments. It's been that way the last 4 years, even in the playoffs when they were running hot. Lack of clutch hitting since the World Series. It's been a lot of no-shows and crunch time, and hopefully,
I just don't want to fucking fall into that rut like I did years ago while watching this shithead team. All right, I don't want it to fall back into what it's like being a Bear fan now. All right, those early Cub teams, man. All right, those early Cub teams, those 90s teams. Yeah, you had Slam and Sammy. You know what I think? Okay, right here. That's what I think of Slam and Sammy. Okay, he can slam this. That's what I think he can slam. The guy, he looks like a fucking Pepto-Bismol right now. I don't know.
He does. It's kind of freaky.
He's doing like a weird Michael Jackson transition. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but the guy ended up pink. I don't know what's going on. He's not white. He's not black. The guy is straight up Pepto-Bismol color. All right.
That's
but like, and that's concerning. That's a health issue. I don't know if they injected him with Pepto. I mean, God forbid, if the guy ever has a stomach ache, I'd be suing Pepto. But I mean,
I think it's a
diarrhea
situation.
I don't know. Yeah, but those teams were fun to watch. But it was fun to watch for Sammy Sosa. All right, but those teams fucking sucked, man.
They did. They were bad.
He was
the only good thing on those teams.
They were terrible.
Yeah, they were.
All right,
bad.
Mark Grace was okay, and then they go out getting a broke dick injured Nomar Garcia Parra later on down the line.
I remember that.
You know, this guy's sitting on the guy's dick was in a cast for crying out loud.
Messing with his gloves all the time.
Yeah, I don't know, tapping his feet, doing his. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
It took him longer to get ready between pitches than it did.
Yeah, and then you had a little glimmer of hope, and then that fucking jerk off Steve Bartman. I watched that.
No.
I don't want to. I don't. That's
Bartman did nothing that nobody else wouldn't have done.
No,
there were so many other people reaching for that ball.
Yes. Dude, stop it! I just watched.
In that moment, you would have been like, nope.
Yes, I would have, because Moises Alou's glove was right fucking there.
He wasn't looking at the field. He was looking in the air.
No, I like.
This is a whole conversation for another show. We could talk this for an hour.
Super Bowl weekend, my buddy Phil flew into town. Him and I got stoned at like 2:00 in the morning, ripping some fine ass herb. All right, and we threw on that eighth inning of the 2003 NLCS between the Marlins and the Cubs, and we watched the destruction of it. And I still felt sick to my stomach the same way I felt while watching it live as a 12, 13-year-old kid. I was ready to blow my brains out while watching it live.
No.
I was like, oh, God, no, why? For the love of God.
That wasn't even the end of the inning, man.
I know. So Alex Gonzalez has fucking butterfingers.
Yes. Right. You can't blame that on him. That team collapsed because Moises Alou threw a baby fit, and everybody...
the ball was pretty much in his glove.
It doesn't matter. You're a professional athlete, man. No,
it does matter.
You're a professional athlete. You miss that play. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm pissed off, but why would you let that just ruin everything?
Because
they just completely collapsed after that.
It's the curse of the Billy Goat, dude. That's what it was. But anyways, we are bringing on our guy now, Angelo. Our guy, Michael Silva, owner. The guy, he owns this game called QB54. This thing is the coolest fucking thing that I've seen around in a long time, man. It's going to be the game that it's going to take over tailgates across the nation once everything opens back up. And I'm really excited to bring him on with us to have him give a little bit of insight of what his game is. And I'm going to ask him a really tough question. Why is his game better than horseshoes and bags? That's what I'm going to ask him. So he has to come up with a good answer on this one. So welcoming Michael Silva here. Here he goes, our guy, QB54 owner. Here he is, Michael Silva. Mike, how's it going, my friend? How we doing?
Thanks for having me on again. You guys are the men. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. It's always fun to have you. We got a new audience this time, man. We're stepping up in big ways around here, and we got a new audience. I'm not talking shit about anybody that I worked before in the past with, but we got a new audience with us here on the Fat Mike Show through 1252. So, I mean, I wanted to get you out to relay the message to all the new listeners and stuff like that. So, Mike, explain your game. What exactly are you doing with quarterback QB54?
Sure.
And what is it? Tell us a little bit about it. What's going on with you?
So QB54 is an entire game of football that we built from two traditional folding chairs, the ones that you see soccer moms can every set up to watch their kids play. What we did, we cut a hole in the seat, added a basketball net, took the back of the fabric of the back of the chair off, and we put field goal posts on. You set one chair up at one end, a chair at the other. You can play 1-on-1, 2-on-2, up to 5-on-5 if you wanted to. the game, you throw the football, hit any part of the chair, you get 3 points, a completion. You throw it in the bucket, in the basket, that's a touchdown for 6, and then you get to kick the extra point. If you kick the extra point through, you get the extra point. On defense, if your opponent is throwing the ball, hits any part or bound, and you catch it, you can get the interception for 3 points. Now, the cool part about this is our fan base, our customer base is growing bounds, and one of the things is people are starting to invent their own rules. Case in point, on the interception, you catch the rebound. Split-second decision now to either take a knee or 3 or return it to your opponent's chair. Your opponents then come out and play defense, and wherever they two-hand touch it, you can throw it in the bucket for a touchdown. Also,
Excellent.
If it's a extra point, you can return that as well. So what we like to think of the entire game of football minus the I'm sorry, say again?
What's the end of the game score? What do you got to get up to win the game? What's the score?
Oh, sure. Sorry. There's a little bit of a delay. Yeah, you score the first team to get to 54 wins the game. And QB54, everybody asks, hey, how'd you come up with the name QB54? What does it mean? Quarterback, because you're throwing the ball a bunch of times, and 54 is because that's play.
So how did you?
And the next question comes, how'd you come up with 54? Well, you pulled it out of our ass, and that's what we started doing.
How did you guys even come up with this concept of making this game, Mike? Where did you guys come up with this from?
All right, go back into your time machine. 1983. You guys weren't even born yet. I was 9 years old. I was 12. Thanksgiving. It's time to do the dishes. I look at my brother, and he looks at me. He goes, "You want to do the dishes?" Like, let's go outside and play. We try to go outside and play football. All of our friends are gone. They went to their families' houses or whatever. So I'm like, how do we play, football with just the two of us? So we got 2 garbage cans, one at one end of the sidewalk, one at the other end of the sidewalk. And the goal was to throw the football in the garbage can. And then we kicked the extra point through my dad on the back of his pickup truck. And for you folks out there that don't know what a CB antenna is, that's the first cell phone.
That's excellent, man. So now, where are you guys based out of, Mike? Well, you guys are up.
Everybody's
in New York,
drunk. Where you when you came up with this game? We were. I'm in Jersey. Both and I grew up in Jersey, and then he moved down to Atlanta. So he's down there. I'm up here. So we call this North HQ. He's South HQ. It's just me and my brother.
And now I know that you guys are starting to stream out and span out all between college campuses and all that other good stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on. I know that you guys are doing things at college stadiums for tailgate parties and all that other good stuff. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, sure, absolutely. To get the business of the game out there, I took myself, my son, who was 10 at the time. Yeah, he's about 10 at the time. And we just traveled all over the country. So we went from all the local stadiums, the Eagles, we went to Giant Stadium, obviously, went up to Buffalo, went out to Cleveland, went to West Virginia. We tried to go out as far as we possibly could to get this there. So there might be a lot of people in your audience that are thinking, oh, man, I got this great idea. I want to go ahead and do something. There's a saying that says, free, the hustle separately. So if you want to get shit done, you have to go out there and get it done yourself. Nobody's going to buy my game just by sitting on the shelf. They need to see it being played. They need to feel it. So I like to say they see it, they play it, they love it, they buy it. Think about this. You're at Soldier. We haven't been there yet, but we're getting there. You see a guy walking down the aisle with a chair in one hand, a chair in the other, with field goal posts on the back. What the heck are you thinking? What the heck, chair? That person makes eye contact. I look at them. Boom. I got them hook, line, and sinker. I go up to them and say, hey, you guys want to try a fun game? Like, what is it? Just check it out. I got it. And that's how we sell.
That's what's up. So what separates you guys between something like horseshoes,
so
bags?
To take it one.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I'm going to ask you what separates for horseshoes, bags, and whatever, right? So I'm never going to knock another game, all right? Horseshoes was, I would say, the original backyard game don't know if it was a tailgate game, but a backyard game, cornhole or bags, whatever you guys call it. That's a huge game, right? It's on ESPN. You got Johnsonville sausage that is every 1 in every 2 tailgates has cornhole boards, right? I'm not going to knock it. It's a great game, but it's been a while, okay? We're getting tired of playing the game. It's a fun game, all right? But I like to think that our game requires a little more skill. And the only football game on the market. So you go to a football game and you say to myself, would I rather throw a Frisbee? Would I rather throw a beam? Have it on a football game? Boom. That's what makes us different. Everybody that's playing this game is involved. There's offense, there's defense, there's a little strategy involved. Through the 5 years now that we've been tailgating and going all over the place, it's mind-boggling many people can throw a football. It's unbelievable. I just think everybody can throw a football. It's not true. So one of the benefits of me going out, I see guys, girls, they have no idea to throw a football. Take it to your ear and just throw it. And the look that gets on their face when they throw their first spiral, like, wow, mind blown. And then I got one more thing. You say we're going to college stadiums and whatnot. We've been a lot of face. Some of your audiences might have seen our ads. They're all over the place. All that video footage is myself and my brother taking videos of people playing the game. We had University of Colorado, the Buffaloes, reach out to us and say, hey, do you guys want would you like to use our logos on your games? Yeah. So of course. So this guy out in Colorado loved our game so much. He's been pushing our game to the entire Pac-12. He sent it to Ohio State, Penn State. So just to let you know, we were now officially licensed with the University of Colorado, and we got 3 other schools that are close to signing with us: Florida State, Michigan State, and Rutgers, my alma mater. I mean, to go from a game that we invented as kids to now institutions backing us, but allowing us to use their likeness is effing huge. It's unbelievable.
Right. Sorry. That's awesome, man. So I played a game back in we came out here. I'm from Illinois, so it's cold as shit out here, just like it is up there in Jersey. But we used to take our aluminum baseball bats and hit a basketball at one another in a hockey net. You think that's doable? You think I can turn that into some money or what? But you got to play goalie. So
I think you got something.
If I hit a basketball at you at 120 miles an hour from 10 feet away, I'm pretty sure people are.
Your product liability insurance.
Right. Yeah, it needs insurance.
Your product liability insurance
dental card.
Might be a little expensive.
Yeah, needs insurance and a dental card.
That's
awesome, Mike. I love what you guys are doing now over at QB54. It's a really cool game. I'm excited to actually bring this thing on out to when things start opening up out here in Chicago. It's been a kind of a shit show out here with everything being closed down, but I can't wait to break it out and play it in front of people when I'm tailgating at Sox Park or up in Wrigley Field as I'm sitting there hanging out, having a few beers at the Cubby Bear beforehand or whatever, and especially at Soldier Field. I mean, NIU and Northwestern. I'll bring that thing everywhere I go, and I appreciate you doing what you guys are doing. And I really appreciate you coming on with us and talking to us a little bit about it. So what is the goal? Are you guys just planning on taking over the world? Is that your goal? Taking over the entire world?
So when my brother and I started, this is 2016, right? We sat on this idea for 30 years. I mean, let that sink in. 30 years. I was 9,
you guys are old.
And I think we started when I was 4. Even longer. Yeah, we are. Yeah. And that's fine, because with age comes experience and knowledge, and I'm soaking it all up. So anyway, we started this business. We didn't game. We didn't think. I'm like, and my brother. We're looking at each other. It's like, listen, if we sell one, we did it. And then we're thinking, you know what? I had to roll any tailgate or backyard party and see people playing our game. And that was our initial goal. And one of the videos I've taken, you'll see the actual Yeah, one guy was following me with a camera, and in the distance, I see somebody playing my game, and I'm there with my kid, and this feeling came. It was a musician, right? 16 years old, and I'm, playing my heart out in the basement. I'm making these songs, not thinking anybody's gonna, hear it. And then one day you make it, and you're on stage, people are singing your life to you. I'm thinking that's got to be what it feels like to see somebody playing something you invented and brought to the market. When many people said, you're crazy, make it, blah, blah, blah. So one of the other bits of advice I'd give your audience is this. If you do have an idea, or whether or Ace, I'm sure 9 out of 10 people said, why are you wasting your time? You're not, there's a million podcasts out there. You guys are going to make it, whatever. That mentality. You put 2 crabs at the bottom of a bowl. One crab tries to crawl out. What do you think the other crab is going to do?
He's going to want to crawl out too.
He's going to pull that crab down because he doesn't want to see the other. He doesn't want to see the other one succeed. That's what it comes down to. People do not want to see others succeed because, why can't I do that instead of him? There's people out there that are like that, and I've cost them a lot. And you use that as fuel the fire to go even further. So that's my bit of advice for anybody out there that's got that idea. So there's always going to be that sucks, blah, blah, blah. Just keep moving one foot in front of the other.
As long as the crabs
to date, end up last year, we sold over $1 million.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We sold over last year alone from a stupid idea that my brother and I put together. I said, my brother and I, we sold $1 million last year, and now we have the attention of other people, which is huge.
That's awesome, Mike. That's awesome. As long as those crabs don't end up in my pants, I think I'll be all right. But I don't want them pulling each other down. If they're crawling out, they're getting out. I got to get them out of there. But Mike, thank you for joining us, my man. Thank you for coming on here talking about QB54.
Hey, maybe they got to say me.
It's awesome having you on here and talking about your game and talking about everything like that. I can't wait to go out and play this thing once everything starts opening up. I know we're going to be doing a live show at Sox Park this year. So we got that going on. I'll be definitely bringing that to the big parking lot out there, hanging out and making sure everybody's playing it and stuff like that. And I just want to say thank you again, man. Thank you for joining us. You got to bring this thing to Shark Tank. One of our listeners says you got to bring this thing to Shark Tank. You got to do it.
Let's go. Listen, we applied twice. And if you go on our Facebook page, we were on Steve Harvey's in front of 1 million people. This was 1 month into our business. We get invited to go on ABC in the summer of July 17th. We had no idea. All I knew, we got to have an awesome pitch. Check out the presentation. I think it was pretty good. Steve Harvey gave us his nod. It was a great experience. I just want to let your audience know that if you guys are interested in us, interested in the game, it's playqb54.com, or you can check us out on Amazon. Getting units in the beginning of April, so we're going to do some pre-order sales in March. So bookmark us, whatever. And it's a time you'll never.
You just beat me to my next question, Mike. You just beat me to my next question. I was just going to ask you, how can we order a game? I mean, thanks for taking the wind out of my sails, pal. I appreciate it. Thanks for shitting on me. It's cool. It's fine. I get it. It's
why don't
cool.
you do
I
this?
was getting there. I was getting there, damn it. I was getting there.
A question that's not related. Give me a topic. Sorry, buddy.
I was getting there. You just took the wind right out from underneath my wings. Damn it! That's all. Well, that's awesome, man. Again, really quick, state, Mike. How can we find you on the Twitter machine? How can we find you on Facebook? Where can we order a game? Give us that one more time before we cut you loose, Mike.
Sure. So our social media is at PlayQB54. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I just started dabbling with TikTok. Even though my but hey, my first 35,000 views and 1,000 likes. So not bad. And if you guys, again, if you want a game on Amazon, we're sold on Amazon, but also on our website, playqb54.com. Not 45, not 52. Play54.com. You'll be glad.
Excellent. Mike, thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. We really appreciate you having the time to come on with us and talk about your game and stuff like that. I really do appreciate it again. We'll have you back soon. I'll make sure that I'm taking pictures when we're playing this game out at our local shows and our bars and at live events and stuff like that. I'll make sure I send them on over to you.
Guys, thank you so much again for having support our game for the show. Anytime you want me on, I'm there.
That's excellent. Thanks, Mike. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Take care. All right, guys. That's Mike Silva from QB54. A little choppy there. I don't know whose it was. Hopefully, it comes up on the broadcast when it's downloaded. But I think he's working with something out of Skynet, from 1982. But we'll figure it out.
That's all right.
But no, honestly,
you got the gist of it. You got the gist of it.
Yeah, you got is it and be good and 50 or no. I think Mike's computer is the first computer ever made, but I'll try and scrub that audio. I'll try and scrub that audio for the downloadable version on Spotify and stuff.
No, it's all good. I think you got the gist of it. It's a cool game, man. You told me about it a while back, and I follow him on Facebook, on Twitter. It's definitely something that I think either tailgating or even just to get your family out of the house, man, and play in the backyard. Oh my God, Tim Tebow, that's the last in the Bears.
Fuck that guy.
But yeah, it's more like a cool game to get the family out, and they're doing big things over there, man.
All kidding aside, I have a pretty good relationship with Mike over there at QB54. That's why I'm picking on him a little bit. But no, that fucking game is awesome, man. I got myself a set. It's actually back here in the corner here. And so I can't play it when there's fucking 14 inches of snow in my front yard.
That's true.
But it's a fun ass game, man. I love playing this game. Every time my buddies are over, we're sitting there, we're drinking beers, having a good time. My one buddy, this is no shit, last summer, dude, Angelo, no joke. He went to go kick the field goal, and he Charlie Browned himself. And I'm not even joking. I got 3 dogs, Angelo. I got 3 dogs. Koba is my chocolate lab. Bailey is my little lab pit mix. And I have the Winnie Pig. That's the one I post all the time because she's just so ugly. But we're sitting out here in the backyard drinking, having a good time, doing our stuff. The dubage is being passed around from here to there. But he Charlie Brown on the field goal and landed in the only pile of dog shit that I missed in the backyard. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. He had dog shit on his back. I was like, oh, man, I'm so sorry, bro. He's like, this is fucking disgusting, bro. I just couldn't stop laughing. It was the funniest thing ever. But no, this game is a lot of fun. On the side note of dog poop and on the side note of the sketchy computer stuff, it's a fun game, guys. Go to playqb54.com.
So
go check out what those guys got going on. And
remember how we were talking about how the Cubs have no money?
Yeah, what happened
Did
now?
you just see what the Padres did?
No.
So here, from Jeff Passan, star shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. and the San Diego Padres are in agreement on a 14-year, $340 million contract extension.
Sweet Pete.
And the Cubs can't find $4 million to send to Lester.
And they paid Machado $300 million.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Oh, man. On that note,
the Cubs are having struggles buying fucking new baseballs for this season.
That's true. That's true. They're gonna have to send Chris Bryant somewhere for some baseballs and bats, man, and some helmets.
Hey guys, you gotta wear last year's cleats. Here you go.
Hey, we need to finish building the outside of Wrigley Field, so we're gonna send Chris Bryant for some money.
Right. Sweet Pete. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It only makes me upset. The only thing that's good about this is this. I don't know. This guy just said his name is Facebook user. I don't know. Whoever said that.
Facebook user.
That'd be a great Facebook user name. Just Facebook user.
User.
Right. And the Sox traded them for James Shields. You are correct. James Shields, big game James.
Dude, hey,
more like poo stain James.
At least the Sox traded him, but they're still on like the coming up right now. It's not like the Cubs who traded away everybody and now they're where they're at.
Right.
You know what I mean? So could be worse, right?
Yeah, it sucks. Andrew Tarbo, this is why the Cubs are in trouble. Not being able to sell 15-year-olds is a real big killer for the Cubs. Oh Jesus!
I think
we're going down a dark path. Yeah,
I think on that note we should.
We're going down a very dark Jeffrey Epstein path with this show. I don't know what's going on here, but let's take this off here before we get in trouble by the CDC. And I got fucking SWAT team kicking on my door. Oh shit! And I guess it's Turtle. Turtle was saying that. So Turtle's in charge of selling 15-year-olds. You guys want to buy one?
All right. I'm done with that topic.
Buy one for 15 or two for $9.50. Oh shit. All right. On that note, thank you. Special thank you to everybody who joined us in the chat room tonight.
Wait, that's the end of the show?
That's the end of the show. We're done. I'm tired. That's the end of the show. Wait, that's the end? Yes, that's the end. I'm tired. I've barely slept since in the last week. But thank you for everybody joining on tonight with us, everybody in the chat rooms, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, and I think that's all we got going on right now, Facebook and the YouTube. And I was going to say, and the YouTube. But yeah, we already got the YouTube.
YouTube? How old are you?
Old, bro.
Hey, make sure you guys go follow me on the Facebook.
Make sure you guys follow me on the Facebook machine and the Twitter machine at FatMike Chicago. Make sure you guys hit up Angelo Ace Camacho at Sport Court AC. A special thank you is owed tonight to Jesse Rogers. You can follow him at Jesse Rogers ESPN. He is the Chicago Cubs insider. And a special thank you goes out tonight for Mike Silva from QB54. You can follow him at PlayQB54 on Twitter. Look him up. Guaranteed you guys are going to see him on your Facebooks and stuff like that. This game is awesome. Go to their website, order yourselves a game. And again, thank you tonight to John Darren and his team over at Coldwell Banker, sponsoring him. Another congratulations goes out to him and his family having a new beautiful baby girl tonight. You guys, it's awesome, man. What we're doing here at 1252 is absolutely par none, and I love what we're doing here. It's fantastic. I can't wait, and it's going to be a good time. Somebody gave us the middle finger already, so that we got that going for us. So sorry, Tarbill. I don't know what happened.
I think he's just mad that the show's ending right now.
That or he's upset because he was the original one that was trying to sell 15-year-olds. So I
you're going to get our listeners locked up. You're going to get us shut down. Jesus.
All right, guys. On that note, you guys have a great night, and we will see you soon. Don't forget to follow the at FatMike Chicago Sports Show at Sport Court AC. Don't forget to follow at Allen __ Bratcher and Turtle _1252, new members of the 1252 team.
Don't forget, go on my Twitter, get to that 1252 page. Once both those pages reach 500, man, two people, we're going to, all four of us at the 1250, Alan and Turtle, you and me, we're going to pick two winners to get a copy of MLB The Show 21 with the newly rich, super rich guy, Fernando Tatis Jr. on the front. So
we should just ask him to sponsor our show. Be like, hey, just give us $100 million. You'd be all right.
Give me 500,000. He probably wipes his nose with that, man.
Now he does.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got a gold bidet sitting at his crib now.
I would. If I had that kind of money.
Yeah, I'd never wipe again.
I pay somebody.
Right.
If I had that kind of money.
Angelo, wipe my ass.
I'd have somebody that's just in the bathroom. They live in there. There'll be a bed and TV and all that shit. And they come out of like a big ass walk-in closet.
You're shitting in bed?
No. They come out of like their little walk-in closet. And then they do their business and go back in there. They take care of me and then go back in there. You want that job?
What, to wipe your ass?
Yep.
How much you paying me?
Nothing. I know you just want to do it.
I know you just want to do it. All right. This show's gone off a steep cliff. We're getting out of here. Thank you to everybody tonight. We got to end it on a fucking explosion note, dude. And we always do. It's great. That's why I love it. The last 10 minutes of this show is comic gold. I'm telling you.
We just bullshit until one of us is just fed up with the topic, and then like we're done.
Right. Like, where do you masturbate? And, Angelo still hasn't told me where he masturbates, guys, just so you guys know.
There's a tree house that I have.
Jesus.
It's like a 90-foot tree. I go all the way up there.
It's where Tarbull Vince sells the 15-year-olds.
All right. You're going to get us canceled.
All right. We're out of here. And on that note, guys, good night. We will see you guys next week. Stay tuned and stay focused on our stuff. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Peace.